Yeah, I wanted to stream some more today. I think we'll be editing the videos over the weekend, more or less, for the Vivid night. There's kind of a lot of stuff I need to download and grab. Well, it's working on it anyway, right? Meanwhile, I can upload more stuff, which I would then have to download as well. So I'm not really making things any easier for myself. But you know, there's neither here nor there. Anyway, today we're gonna try some more Slipways. Let's see if I got my stuff ready. Yeah, basically. Also, I want to be able to actually see what I'm doing. That would be maybe nice. Perhaps, right? Alright, so if I'm going to be doing Slipways, then I'll put it over here. Standard run, difficulty, inhospitable. And the race, these are no Earth-like planets, for those who want to know. Also, let me refresh my chat here, because I'm noticing that it's not working. That looks better. Okay. Yeah, it's inhospitable, so we have no Earth-like planets. And that's about it, really. We hit 5% of our final score due to increased difficulty. And then we get to choose some random races and perks, which includes Explorers and Luxury this time. Luxury giving us some extra income from goods, and Explorers giving us extra money for, exploring. So, you know. Also, like, my perk selection thing is apparently not working. Well, now it is. Explorers and Luxury, if I can find it. Okay. Our races today are the Boforians, the Bakar, and the Silthid. Combination we did 2 runs ago, apparently. And any interesting tech? Inhospitable means no Earth-likes, so that also means an increased proportion of non-hospitable planets, right? Like ice balls and lava-ups and all that sort of thing. So, you know, the freeze-resistant balls are staring at me like, that could be interesting. There are also Microforges available together with Xenotourism, so that's always interesting to go together as well. That would mean no brain-machine interfaces, though, which could be good. They don't work that well together with tourism. It kind of depends on whether or not we can find worlds that are good for tourism, right? Because no Earth-like worlds does mean tourist resorts are going to be harder to find, because you need only jungle and ocean planets that can actually make them. There's also replicating the nights on offer, as well as space-time inversion and sleep replacement in the late game. But, you know, the lack of Vittori, of course, means that it might be difficult to get 1, 2, 3, possibly 4 late game techs. That might be asking for a very high amount of science, right? Ostensibly around 300 points of science or so over the course of the whole game, which would mean an average rate of science of about 12, or a top-out rate of around 20, which is quite a high amount of science, really. So, I'm moving some. Oh! That happened before to me, but I need to clean up this mouse. It's just not good. Well, you can't undo that action. So we don't have a very good start here. Well, like sometimes my mouse does this, where I press the button down and it lets go early. I haven't had this happen before, but I guess that's a first, right? I guess we could re-roll the seed, but I'm just going to continue. Alright. Well, apart from that gaff at the very start, let's have a look at what we got here. So, there's a desert over here, and there's a remnant over here, which, you know, could form two-way trade. There's also access to Primordial, Although, you know, there's also access to ocean, which can form another two-way trade, which does have access to food like this as well. Which this one makes more sense. With the Bakar available, I would like to perhaps not explore as much as I can early and maybe take something. I think this is a fine start. It might be a little risky to do, but on the other hand, you know, I do like not having to explore early, and this is enough of things that we are safe, basically, doing this. And, you know, the plants are not too expensive to run, so we'll be fine. Getting 0 income and giving us some missions. Unfortunately, we did not get any mission for exploration, which I was hoping for. We can, however, try to get an ocean successful. Increase ship production by 3, which we're probably not going to do, and a ore to successful. Now, getting this ocean to successful basically hinges on the availability of goods. Let's just throw that in there so we have 5 income. That's, you know, never bad. So let's have a look up here. Now those are interesting, certainly. We get another two-way trade if we wanted to, right? There doesn't appear to be many goods available, though. On the other hand, I think I would like this other two-way trade as well. Mission successful or successful. Right, well, we don't have those missions complete yet. Let's just leave the tasks available. We'll have to remember which tasks are available, though, because clicking on this actually means you can't undo any further. So, you know, we'd be playing without the undo button if I did that a whole lot. Which isn't the bestest of ideas, really. The undo button's quite the powerful thing that I would like to keep available. Right. So, you are just shy of being in range, unfortunately. It's not the best. So we could connect in one more planet, which I probably should do. Now, one thing we could do is another ocean world to a colony, and I really like that idea because it does unlock our mission here. So let's go ahead and do both. I think it's most likely that we'll get an ocean successful at some point here. More likely than anything else, really. Now, the best way to go about this is probably to found the ocean first. Let's have a look, right? This gives us 16 income, while doing this first gives us only 12. Right? So, because of the two-way trade, right? Because we're trading both ways. Next up, this plant wants some food too. I'm not sure if we can make this into water. I would love to do it because that would enable our mission to complete. And also, I'm looking at this whole amalgam of planets over here, and looking at this, we have 2 people and 2 ore available. We could throw some ore into a laboratory. Although I'm not a huge fan of it because of the availability of microforges later, which can prove to be quite, you know, make ore quite more valuable than it is usually. But over here we should maybe be okay. These are both jungles, right? Like a really big nudge into xenotourism as well. So we should maybe not waste those on farms if I could help it. For example, we can do a swamp farm instead. Of course, the lack of a robot might be a little bit of a problem. But you know, that is a problem everywhere around here. Also, there are no goods around here, which might be a bit of a problem. In any case, let's go ahead and build that wetland farm. Getting us access to additional humans. Kind of want to use one of the humans in here though, because we'd still be lacking one if I did that. Well, let's go ahead and input the water that's necessary. It gets us our Bakar mission complete. Now, interestingly, right, we can do some kind of positioning with this lab to get quite a few planets in range, right? Unfortunately, we can't really get more than, you know, this one and this one when it comes to the ore worlds. But still, let's go ahead and find out what's over here. If there's even more ore over here, there is a Bakar event that can give you ore out of these, then, you know, we're in business. Unfortunately, we don't, but we do get energy, potentially. Well, that's locked behind the Silted mission, which we cannot take before completing the Ephorian mission, so we're still stuck with not being able to improve ocean worlds. Let's go ahead and have a look over here as well. There might be a Forge world. There is not. So we're basically stuck with these two ocean worlds the way they are for a while, because we cannot reach this world. So I'll have to find another ocean planet, really. There's also something to be said for doing a science lab right now, already. And it's not too bad. Like, if we could get to October, then, you know, we would still get the full value out of this year's income for Empire Science. We would basically gain 8 credits by doing so. So the 5 upkeep is worth it. Well, typically it's worth it, right? Because we're gaining science. Do you want to research ore here? I think we're just going to go for it. I do want to put it in such a way that we can maybe reach this if I'm going to decide on a colony there later. I don't think so, but maybe we do it. This puts us in July already. Getting to October from here shouldn't be too hard, right? We can do something like August. You'd probably want to consume that anyway, right? Yeah, because there's no asteroid tech, right? Okay, the lack of robots is a bit of a problem. So we should fix this before it becomes -8 as well. So we don't get hit by spurious penalties. Okay, and then we can sort of pick what we want for the last month, which should probably be this mine. Which can two-way trade as well as get us 4 science. Not bad, right? But the lack of goods is a bit of a problem. As is the lack of more ore, actually. Surprisingly speaking. We could unlock Mineralize. Although you would be out of range. Yeah, maybe we should try to put it so that this thing is actually in range. If we were to unlock Mineralize. That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. Let's go ahead and... Oh, we can't? Did I look at missions or something? Oh, I looked at this probably. Yeah, that's a crux. Well, I mean, we'll be able to make more chips out of it than later, so it's not super big. It's not a super big deal. And we'll probably also want to make like some kind of other lab as well, like probably ore, chips, and one other one in the later game. Or maybe we'll get some kind of, you know, this is in range of hyperlanes, right? In both cases, so that's fine. That'll do. Okay, so I wanted a breeding program over here. Which will that be reasonable? Well, we have the opportunity to make geothermals if so necessary for this, so that's okay. So this unlocks food for here. This is in range, thankfully. Did not mess it up too badly. Let's have a look down here as well. We really want to find another ocean world for us to keep unlocking more things. This does not appear to be in range of any water, so perhaps we don't go for that. There are also 2 floating planets over here, we shouldn't forget. One thing we could do is build a colony up here. Although I don't really see a point in it. Maybe we could use it to explore there over in that direction. You know what? I'll do it. This will fix up the water over here. And, you know, enable some more possible tourism places. Extra water can't really go anywhere, though. Oh, okay. So we got a potential connection there, as long as we can find some robot. We got 4 science. We can unlock freezer resistant bots, although there's no place for them, so perhaps not. I think we'll unlock xenotourism first. Yeah, this is a bit problematic, isn't it? Would love the ability to send some robot in here, because then that would fix an awful lot of things. There just aren't any though. Alright. There are some over in this corner. Right. So I guess we could consider that solved. But of course, right? This is not exactly a wholly optimal set of moves over here, because while they are connected to one little thing each, they don't really have another use for their things they're making. Right, so we're not really getting very wealthy off of this whole sort of thing we're doing, which might lead me to sort of pass it up for a bit. Yeah. Now what I can do though is maybe it's fine-ish if we make a tourism world here. We can't really fund it with any robot. Maybe from here. And then, you know, goods as well, right? That gets us someplace, some part of the way there. So if I unlock xenotourism, right, which allows us to make more money. There's also this ore world here, making 8. We could do brain machine instead, but I think this is going to give us more in the end. That gets us to 20 income again. Which is not the best, because we want goods now here, right? We can't get those until much later. But it's at least something. Okay, that's... yeah, there's a lot of emptiness here. Now that would, in effect, in the end, maybe allow us to make more stuff, right? Such as goods, right? Using microforges, upgraded ones that is, which will take quite a while to get to. Anyway, let's get to January in some way. I guess you only have one adjacent planet. We have only 46 money, so I'm fine exploiting this asteroid. I think we're going to run out of money before we run out of time anyway. Okay, so this connection over here will make a two-way trade happen, which will then also solve this planet over here. Not as good as using all our humans up or using all our resources up this time, and I'm noticing that this one can't really make food because this ice ball is in the way. And we do not have the tech to blow up planets this time, so that's a no-go. I mean, I want to kind of get somewhat more, you know, value out of the planets that we do have. I don't seem to be getting all that much. It's like this planet over here we could potentially make happen, which will allow us to put an additional human in here, a human in there. This makes some ore which can go into here as well. It's not the greatest though. Right, like the lack of this connection over here by, like, you know, that much is a bit, you know, off-putting. There's an ocean over here we could try to make successful, right? I don't really know in what way though. Maybe as a tourist world, right? We would need a good then, right? Same with a colony basically. What about as a water world? It does have, you know, 2 clients, but it doesn't have 2 easy suppliers. I guess this one, right? But the issue with you as a supplier is you don't have any food, and also, you know, these are potentials in a tourism world, so maybe we should, like, get rid of that idea basically. Like, the other option is, you know, another one of those colonies, which, you know, they do work, right? This one would even be lacking food though. And again, lacking goods, right? So like, I don't want my precious ocean plant to not be able to become successful at all. There's also a farm, but you know, again, there's no robot here at all, so there's no real option for getting there either, right? Like some more forge rolls would be appreciated, but they're not there. We don't have them. And we look on over to the right as well. There's another ocean here. There are enough ocean planets, right? It's just that I'm unsure of what to do with them, because if I just found a colony, right, we might not be able to get anything with it, right? So I need to know what's around it in order to really be able to use it. I mean, that could be food, right? And then this could be people. That creates another triangle. That's not bad. Can you get like people from anywhere else, really? Not really, right? So I guess we'll just continue like this. But it's just a never-ending, you know, chain of planets that doesn't really get us anywhere, but bankruptcy in the end. Because these don't make enough money to support themselves once we get to 30, 40 planets and the condition they're in. Because there's lots of unused resources everywhere that really should be sent places. For example, this food should probably be sent to a colony, right? But then this colony then needs water, and you know, it sort of endlessly expands like that when you really want to more do like self-contained little moves if you can help it. But it doesn't seem like we have the luxury this time. I think I'll leave this to go down. There's very little to be had around here. Well, instead focus around this area first. Is that the correct choice? I don't know. So one thing we can do to solve the problem that we don't have any money is actually scan. Because most of the time we're actually gaining money if we scan. Although this time it seems like we didn't roll a third planet. It was quite likely over there, but it seems like we did not get one. It's a bit unfortunate, really. So I guess we have to like skip and stuff. So go ahead and get that money here. Maybe we can take the 16. Do we want a habitat? Is the question, right? Can we do something good with a habitat? Are there places where we have extra food and lack of humans? I mean, I guess a habitat could go over here. And it could make another point of science. But I think like scavenging everything useful is better for us right now. I want to make this connection. And that allows me to do it. And then, you know, we can do this connection as well. Getting enough food to satisfy this planet. Now we just need some ore. And finally, hopefully, we find some goods, because this has been like a bit of a perennial issue for these ocean planets. They're great for colonies all the time, but all these colonies don't have goods. Which if it happens a third time, it gets a bit repetitive, I suppose. It seems like it will. One thing we should probably do before the end of this year is get brain-machine interfaces. What about geothermal plant? Can we use that in any way to make Ocean World successful? There would be one constructible here if I hadn't built something else already. Are there any lava worlds? There's this one, but it's nowhere near anything that could make chips. Because these things need chips for geothermals. There's also mineral seeding available for some reason. Not really all that useful either. Alright, well, let's go ahead and grab brain-machine interface then. The classic, right? And we'll go ahead and build, I guess, a tourism world first. Oh no, we don't. We don't build anything, actually. We're at 15 planets. Why would I build anything now? That would be a bad idea. Can I like stall until like October? And then settle something or something? I mean, it would probably be the better idea to take this asteroid so we have enough money to do so. And then scan here. Then upgrade you to get the 37. And then we found the tourist resort. We should send a human. Again, these tourist resorts are not doing much right now, but they'll do more later. Also consuming humans, right? So, you know, they're not making just 6 production. They're costing 3 as well, right? So they're making 3 and then 4 from here. So they're making 7, right? Each. Finding a use for humans, but you know, having some goods would be so much nicer. Seems like those aren't to be found anywhere in the sector, though. There are no goods. Not anywhere. So how do we... We got some good science, but for the early game, relatively speaking. We don't really have many successful planets to really use the science with. Because that would be the ideal, right? That we get some successful planets. And maybe build some water over here. But then, you know, where does the other food go? I should have maybe taken the habitat, right? So we had some place to send all this food in. Although, you could, you know. Well, we can get neither to successful. At least, you know, we have a guarantee to it right here, so it should be safe to build this colony. But we're out of money. I mean, I maybe should potentially just scan a bit. Okay, we got our money back. That's always nice. But explorers, you get free exploration, essentially. I mean, okay. That's interesting, all these asteroids. What am I going to do with this mineral world and this lava and this? I don't know. Like, we could make lots of minerals if I had, you know, the opportunity to send more stuff in here, sure. Unfortunately, this forebear ruin kind of prevents us from, you know, going this direction. Maybe we should have gone it like this way, and then we could have, you know, put it there and then added in more. Yeah, no, that's hindsight 2020, right? Ah, yeah, 3420. You can connect both sides. And then I guess this allows me to use one of the waters. 2 of the waters, actually. 3 of the waters. So that looks okay. If I then find another human, then, you know, we got our successful ocean planet. Finally, after 11 years. But it is not to be. Maybe it is to be. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. There we go, finally. That took forever. Let's make 4 goods. Yeah, you know what? I've been dying for some goods. 3 chips or 8 ore. Like, it is quite easy to make some ore. We will need to make some. That's the thing, right? What about 3 chips? I mean, I don't see myself making those yet. But, you know, we got microforges, right? And we're going to use some to make chips. That's for sure. And we can get them in like 1 or 2 years as well. Let's make chips and ore, I think, first. Because I'm not seeing anything to make goods. Watch this be goods, right? It's every time, right? Well, I mean, maybe we'll just hold off on them then. Yeah, turn this into goods somewhat later. Okay. Yeah, should have done the goods making thing, right? That's hindsight. Okay. We got 21. We got the extreme miniaturization ready. Which we could use to make a chip lab, right? The thing is best used in a case where you can use the chips for something else as well. If you can, right? If you can. If you can help it. Right now would be a good idea to find some place where we can use the chips. There isn't really much. We're at -7. We should probably like fix you as a 23rd planet, like so. I mean, we get a place where we can send a chip, I suppose. That's neither here nor there, is it? And this would be good as a place to send chips in as well. I don't know how I'd send in more though. The idea would be to create some robots, right? It's over here. Yeah, lack of food, right? It's kind of being a bit in the way. Oh wow. There's like all the forge worlds here, but no way to get food into it. That's a bit crude. So this is one more planet, which we should actually take. Oh, it's a source of food. Not a good one, but it's a source of food. I guess we'll have to take it. Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, well... Go ahead and grab the goods anyway. I don't want to really wait with them. Main question, right? If I'm going to make chips everywhere, what's a good location for it? All of the locations that I'm making ore right now can't really be used to make that many chips. We have microforges, but we can't really use them very well. Not entirely true though. One thing we could do is we could make some ore here. We only have one available though, because one of them gets consumed by this world. So I know my idea was to make some bots in this direction, but it doesn't seem viable either. The idea would be to get mineral seeding for more ore as well. Unique biomatter as well. Like, if I don't know. I can't get food in here either, so you're a no-go. You can make more water. I'm looking towards a spot to make some science, right? But it doesn't appear to be very much that we can do to make more science. It's quite easy to make the chips for this mission and the ore for this mission right now. In quite a lot of locations I can do it. But our science is very low with only 5. You can always scavenge here as well to make some money, so there's that. Also, I suppose I could make this connection work. Guess I'm gonna see human over here. Is that a good human for us to use somewhere? Not necessarily, right? There's quite a few connections that can be made in the end, but not right now. Most of them are decidedly out of range until much later in the game. There's not much in the way of an ability to like connect things together. It's a bit difficult to proceed here. We'll just reform this into a mineral world and then send it there. That would make some sense, wouldn't it? I would like a source of water. It's another desert. It's kind of the opposite of a source of water. Yeah, I don't see this working. Although, that's not bad. I can get you to work. But like, to what end, right? Where are you gonna send us all the food then? Like here? Well, fine, but it's never having water. I was looking for an opportunity to make chips and do things with... I don't think it's here though. And if I do this connection, I might, you know, that's the problem. I might sort of like zone all this off. And then we won't have the opportunity to make chips here. But I don't think it's the bestest idea anyway. The best of ideas. Or, yeah. You get the gist, right? Like maybe we just build like tons of microforges here. And sort of like connect them into labs. We have to be very careful how that's positioned because you cannot hyperlane from a microforge into a lab. And these two plants are so in the way of doing that sort of thing. It's because there is up to 3 ore here. So it's going to be incredibly expensive to do all that, but it works, I suppose. So we'll connect this up. Okay, get another habitat. I think we should take another habitat, to be honest. I would like to use this food up, for example. So we'll take that after getting the chips. And maybe we shouldn't have colonized all these planets. So we could have stuck to 23, so we could have maybe made some more money, but... Alright, so the difficult part will be getting all of this like connected in a way that works, which is going to be a little tricky. Alright. There's 3 upkeep. Yeah, the problem is like the stupid desert that's so in the way. This might take a very long time to do, but... this will allow, you know, a lab over here. You know, these two are so in the way. It's like we could put one more behind it. Right, that's the Silted event. Sure. But then, you know, trying to get this sort of stuff up. Maybe you can do one more behind that as well. Like position this quite specifically, right? And then this would be the idea, right? We sort of build our own lab. DIY lab. And yeah, we don't have the money to do machine interfacing on more plants here. It's, you know, that's fine. The DIY lab is up. How good is this? Not really, right? It's funny, but it's not very good. Also, we get access to this. Free habitat, I suppose, right? Which enables another human input. Maybe we can even make more microforges over here if I really want to. I don't know if I do, but it's available. And, you know, we could make more from this one as well. Going to be pretty hard to get another one in here, though. I guess it's possible. All right. Something at least. Also, you know, this thing is still missing a water, so it won't, same as here. And here, right? If we could get some water in this general area, it'd be great, but there aren't any planets that can do it. We'd need quite a bit of tech to be able to do it. There's also economic zones, Which, if we could use this chip, then, you know, sure, it becomes quite good, but we can't really, like, it's not really many Forge Worlds. There's a general lack of them, in fact. That sort of shows. There's one over here, though. To me, mineral seeding makes more sense, really, than any of the other techs at this point. I'm seeing a few uses for it already, so to me that's usually good enough. You can sort of start interconnecting these plants along the way. Go ahead and take that. We'll probably have to skip a bit. This costs 15. It's expensive, isn't it? We could wait and get this terraforming drone to make it cheaper. We're not going to get a whole lot more science. This game is going to be kind of a low science game. So we did not really get a good start. Okay, this is only 2 a year. I don't think I want it though. I think we should take the time off. Oh no. So I could make this cheaper and quicker. I don't know if I want to do that. How many are we going to do? Mineralize this realistically. Maybe a few more, right? Not a whole lot more. I would imagine. Oh, this one as well, right? We could also turn things into Forge Worlds as well with hyperdrives and all that. That wouldn't be bad, I think. Like turning this stuff into Forge Worlds would be kind of neat, actually. Like, there's lots of places that would want some goods. I can show you a very large amount of places that would want some goods. Just can we also afford hyperdrive with that, right? And the answer is no, because we don't really have the humans for it. And we don't really have the money to make the humans. But yeah, we'll find out how far we'll get, right? So this one, it being of course that now we have microforges, it should be fairly doable to take care of its ore need. And like this we get to take advantage. Well, that to quite an extent, actually. Yeah, we'll go ahead and build some machine interfaces in various places. You have 12 trade income. 11 over here. 12 over there. Well, we still got another 50-ish money, right? And the idea would be to put a microforge over here, which would be able to send 2 chips into 2 different places. You know, that's not too bad. That would be out of range though. Well, making another ore planet will complete the Bakar mission, so it's pretty good to do that anyway. Because we suddenly get a huge influx of money. And then, you know, wants to make more chips? Sure. You want to make like lots of two-way trades. Huh. Well, okay, because exploring like all the way over there is like not a smart idea right now. So you're at -6%. Let's go ahead and fix you as well. It'll put us in next year though. Is there anything we might want to machine interface? There's like a planet over here. Oh, and this one definitely, like 20, sure. That's about it, what we can do. 46 income. Okay. Yeah, I mean, lacking the human, right? Potentially a bit of a problem. The idea would be to get like something like nanofabrication, right? There's like a bunch of stuff that really wants another thingamabob. It's like, what do I do with all this ore? I mean, I could make some chips. Like, I can't reach the lab. Should I have done like wave augmentation for that? I mean, I could have, but then it would have been horribly expensive to the point where we would have not been able to afford it at all. So I don't think that's really a realistic option. Now, there's basically two avenues we could go. Either universal miniaturization or nanofabrication. Either way, we gain sort of the same type of result. With both, we can make goods out of ore quite quickly. The question is like, which one will be the quickest? This though will get us more planets, which will cost us more money. So I think we will want to go universal miniaturization over the other option. It's like it allows things like, you know, this to be fixed, that to be fixed. Well, potentially anyway, right? This one's kind of stuck because we have a case like a catch-22 thing going on there. Hyperlanes, of course, would also be amazing, allowing various things to move. But the lack of stuff is really hurting, right? This one really wants a food as well. Well, we could get one. In fact, we could maybe prepare some things. I think there's no reason not to at least like prepare some connections. Like pre-build a bunch of stuff here. In fact, if I'm going to make robots here, I want to put an additional one behind it to make chips, because it's going to want chips if it's going to need robots as well. And we're like, what am I doing here? Right? What was that going to be about? Well, we're sort of pre-building. Let's go ahead and pick up some money, because we're kind of short a few points of science, right? So this way I can build like... Wait. This doesn't work. I might... Okay. That does work, but I shouldn't do this connection yet. That does not work. So like, is there anywhere else where we can pre-build one of these things? Yeah, there's plenty of locations. It's just like, can we get like two goods out of a place? Well, yeah. Can we use the two goods immediately? Well, kind of not, but... I can get a 31, right? Connect this in. This one would be kind of good to connect in, because we can do something like this over here. Okay. Okay, now universal miniaturization. Right, time to go with this. So I can make a bot. That bot can make food. Food can go in there, which makes us more chips. The chips can then go, you know, in either direction. But they could also go in here as well, which would be the better place for them to go. I misplaced that. We have to go all the way back. To here. And put it on the other side. And then I have to redo all the things we did, right? Realistically speaking, right? Also spending some money on these things, but you know, that's what we have to do. Okay, and then there was one over here as well that we wanted to place. I don't know. Doesn't really matter, does it? It's always going to be like sort of like in a position where it can't really serve both sides at the same time. Well, then maybe we just do it, right? Just do it in some way. I don't know. Anyway, we were interested in universal miniaturization, which unlocks the ability to make robots and things in these. Wait, did I missed it again. I messed up again. Can't do that connection. Every time, right? We have to be told that we can't do that connection. Alright. Now, universal miniaturization. We have to do things in a specific order or it doesn't work. Right, okay. The puzzle is complete. We did a thing. And it worked somehow. We got 79 income for it, right? Not bad. No. We're interested in to make some goods, right? Because that unlocks more humans. As well as two-way trade, right? Also, we have a spare 18 cash, so I should be spending it on machine interfaces if we can, because they're still kind of worth it at this point. It's like, yeah, there's a bit of an original lab over here, right? If you can't make labs normally, then just sort of force it. We can actually do it again if I wanted from bots. The thing is that we're in 3420, so it's probably not worth doing anymore at this point. The question really becomes: is it possible to get upgraded hyperlanes with it? Stable jumps is, I believe, 52 or something. So I guess it might be doable. It might be okay to try for it. I'm not so sure about it though, because like I kind of want to sort of like continue with the thing we're doing, which I'm not going to be able to do if I... Also, I just realized, right, we can't do that connection with that. Is there a way to... I guess there is, right? But if I do so, it costs me so much money. I guess I'm not going to do it. Also, hold on a second, aren't you going to be much richer than the other thing that we're going to machine interface? Because you get more trade income from this two-way trade. Yeah, you're going to get 20 trade income. That's much more than, what was this at? 11? Yeah. Makes more sense to machine interface this thing. Okay, so with that all out of the way, what's the other thing we can do? Well, like a lot of these places could do with, say, some water, right? But doing that, you know, uses up number 32, which cuts the income down again. Also, it's not really all that helpful for goods purposes, but this one might be, if we can get there. It's going to be expensive, but I think it's going to be worth it. So, like, if I make it here, we can build goods here, and you can build, you know, use this final microforge at the edge to sort of connect in two different things at the same time, making the both of them successful. And also, you know, we could get more. Yeah, this one's kind of cut off, isn't it? Also, this one, if we could make, if there's more ore available in the center here, we would have been able to make a bot lab quite heavily. So, you know, we've bled this to -8%, but I don't think it's that there's anything helping that, because otherwise we would be costing us too much income to found more plants. There was not really an opportunity available for it. There is now, to some extent. We should probably actually be founding some plants right now, because otherwise we'd be wasting too much time, right? Any plants we want to found, we should probably found at this point. Is there anything I might want in particular? I guess the real issue is making a bunch of goods really everywhere, for which, you know, we got these things. This area is sort of like really asking for some help. Because like, you know, once this gets started, I would imagine that for example, we could do this connection, and then there could be a microforge in there supplying both the chips, the robot, one of which can go outside of range, I guess. Also, yeah, that's obstructed in multiple ways. There's also water to be made here, which can go in here producing more ore. The ore can then be used to make some chips. The chips can be used to make some robots, right? But it's never going to make more than 3 ore though, right? So we're kind of in trouble with making robots. I guess I can make them out of this ice ball. This ice ball can also become an ore plant, or we could just put it here. Right, put another microforge there. Because we shouldn't do it right now because we'd run out of money and I'd like to keep building. I don't really see a way of making these 5 two-way trades work though. Which is kind of what we need in order to get the Euphorian mission, to get this another Euphorian mission. Then that second Euphorian mission will be able to get a tech discount for them. Which I think is not in the cards, which is unfortunate because I would really like to get those, long-range hyper lanes. Which will be forfeiting on regular hyperdrive, sure, but we can't get a reactionist drive. Like regular hyperdrive is still going to be good here though. You just can't do long jumps. So no, this is now available. I think it will never be able to get more than this, is the thing. The other option, well... I mean, hold on a second. If we get hyperdrives anyway, can't we hyperdrive our ore to make bots? I mean, that's a bit silly, but that works. There's some more from here too. Can we reach this with a hyperdrive? Yeah, we can. Let's do that then. It means we don't have to pay for the planet upkeep and we can keep building some things. Some useful things, right? Mildly useful things. The first of which is this point of science. We can go ahead and build some more points of science. I think we'll have to skip the next year then. So we get some money to build some things with. And the idea would be to unlock that, which we can't. So we'll have be floating a bunch of these everywhere, microforges. I mean, we can pre-build them, right? That's fine. Not ideal, but we'll connect them next year and we'll get a bunch of science for them. Anyway, we're in January. We should maybe be able to do this plan over here then first, or... No, that would cost us more, right? That's the thing. I kind of wanted to do this because it costs us less. We're kind of out of money, and we're kind of out of the ability to get more science and like boosts, right? From, although, hold on a second. We can get 6 science if we make chips. Is there a reason to go ahead and make some more chips somewhere? Like anywhere where we can, we should. Realistically speaking. But there isn't anywhere we can unless we found planets, is the thing. All here, but I don't want to do that there, I think. I don't know, we cannot... Like, it's not possible to hyperlane from here to there in the future, because hyperlanes can only be built between a planet and a thing. So you cannot hyperlane from a microforge to a lab. So we couldn't, like, plonk another 8 microforges in here and make a 20 science lab. That's not going to work. I wish it could. We can plonk in one right over here, but we can't use it yet. But we could do that, make a start, right? They don't cost anything if you don't do anything with them, right? While they're not activated, they don't cost any upkeep, so you can just sort of spend the time and pre-build them. It's a neat little trick with microforges. So one over here is definitely good because we'll have 2 good outputs for a robot. Although it will only produce 1 robot, right? So we'll need another chip as well to produce the other robot. Now you cannot make a Microforge to Microforge connection with a hyperlane again, right? This is the same problem popping up again. This is going to be horribly out of range, and we're never going to get a third ore from here because it needs water before it makes that. So it can only really make a single bolt here. Great, okay. I got that out of the way. I think the same applies to this area, to be honest. And the same applies to this area because, again, there's no water, right? If there was some water, it would be awesome. There's some here. Right, so this one can potentially make one more thing. Which I don't know what it should be. Like if I made a chip here from this one, right, it could send it here. Don't know what to do with the other one. I guess the other one could be sent into there. Right, just like something like that. That wouldn't be too bad, to be honest. So I could plonk one more down here. Keep plonking down Microforges everywhere we want them in the future, right? We're going to future-proof our empire, in a sense. We're going to get to October and then we're going to found this planet, basically, is the goal. We've got 6 more months, so make another bolt here. Right, we're in September. How are we going to go ahead to go to October? I guess we'll consume an asteroid to make up for the 1 month. And then we're going to go ahead and grab the thawing facility. So we have enough money next year to do the expensive connections, because these things cost 20. Right, so now we can build bots here for, you know, free. Well, semi-free anyway. And some more over here. I wanted to make some chips over here. And you know, if there was a good consumer of chips over here, but it can't be another Microforge, right? Because you cannot, like, just to show, right? It doesn't, one end must be a planet. Yeah, there was one here that was quite good. For multiple reasons. Unfortunately, we cannot get this to prosperous easily. Also, there's, you know, this connection over here. And I should probably make another Microforge here. There's our chips. Also gives us some more money. So, you know, we could machine interface at this point. But at this point, we're only making very little money because there's only 3 years left in the rest of the game. Even that one's only making 3 money a year, so it's actually making a loss. 12 to 16, this one's making like 2 credits. I'd probably be better off keeping the money and investing it if we're only going to make 2 credits over it for the entire course of the game. There's also this one still. Oh yeah, I wanted to connect this water in at some point. Maybe we'll use it, maybe we won't. For now, I'm just going to connect this up, I think. I guess, you know, some more. And goods can go in here. Yeah, we have some problems getting enough successful partners in various places. Like, in order to get... This is a problem with all sorts of strategies that want to rely on structures like these Microforges. It becomes pretty hard to get enough partners to make planets prosperous. Right, this one can become prosperous, and then, you know, you can make that one prosperous as well. So it's not entirely bad. And then I guess what we could do is we can build this one over here. Right. And then we can get bolts in here. And, you know, in there. Although we can't afford that final one connection this year. But yeah, you know, we have... This is not going to maybe happen, right? Well, maybe it is, depending on, you know, how many more connections we can afford. We're, of course, 1 science point off, which is incredibly infuriating. Do we not Do we really not have a way to get one more point of science anywhere? Like, it's just 1 point. That's gotta be... that's gotta be worse, right? 1 point. Because the long connection hyperlanes are kind of nice. I'm going to lie. Okay, well, so be it. So now what? What are we missing? We're missing goods over here. The problem is, like, none of these... this one is never going to get successful, is it? Maybe there's a way. I think I see a way. Convoluted, but it'll work. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then go ahead and input over here. Okay. And then make it chip. This needs to be in here so that we can make this short connection over there. And then you have a good available, which you could send in there, making you successful. You have an extra person, which can be sent there, making you prosperous. Now we get this extra ore, which then can be... yes, yes! This is only mildly overcomplicated. Also, you know, there's that connection too. There's quite a few good connections here. I mean, we'll fail the mission. I think that's unavoidable. Also, wish we had some more money. Like, not a whole lot more, but yeah, this would help, but you can't afford that in regards to science. I mean, we don't have 11, right? Let's go ahead and throw that up. We get 1 credit back. The lack of humans, right, precludes our ability to unlock this 4-bear rune, which could have had money in it. They often do. Anyway, stable jumps would be our final tech. Which, that's out of range. I wanted to check that one. Okay, so the idea, my idea is, yeah, try to get this one unlocked. Which, there is a good opportunity to do that. First off, you know, it starts with another Microforge. Would have guessed, right? Which is going to be making goods from the ore in here. And unlocks a human, which can then go there and sort of solve that. And then that can happen, making prosperous worlds. Alright, not bad. There's some, like, fancy shenanigans going over here. Also, we still have this available, which in the end I didn't end up doing, right? Because we ended up throwing it up top. So this was kind of 20 gold that we should have probably kept to do something else with. Because since there's no water available for this one, right? So let's see, there's this one available still we could fix up for 3 or 5. It's worth 5, right? 5% happiness, probably worth doing. We can make a prosperous plant over here with a Microforge, and I think we cannot afford to do both, if I would imagine. 48, yeah, we can only barely afford this. It's 37. We have 11 gold left, which is not enough to do. 11 credits left, which is not enough to do this. So I guess this is probably the better move, because it's, yeah, 7% happiness right there. Slightly less than that, I would imagine. Yeah, we got a 4% happiness. I think that's better than a prosperous plant. 4%. Prosperous plant is a 2% happiness, and you know, a bit more points, 160 base. There's this one, Vaca, the planet full of cows. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Not anything we can really do anything with. We have like 2 months left, right? So we can do like 2 hyperlanes, that's it. So I've got to make them count, basically. What about this one? Yeah, it needs like... someone's like another import. And this could send its ore somewhere, right? Like over here. I would like make like 1 successful planet, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna look at that for now. That's a secret. This one seems good. This one seems fine. It's just a question of can we do anything else that's worth more than just a single successful plan. There should be something better on offer, I would imagine. That is... Yeah, that's better, right? That's one move making a prosperous and successful. What about you in general, though? Do you have, like... the problem with this one is that, again, like, it can't really trade with anyone. Although, I'm saying that. What did that do? That didn't do anything for you. Ah, you didn't have enough partners, right? Because all your partners are Microforges, it doesn't really work all that well. And one of your partners isn't, you know, going to be successful because it doesn't have a second bolt. What about you, though? You would count as a partner, but again, you also have the same problem, where you don't have enough partners that are successful or better. So this connection over here doesn't do anything. Well, that's not true. It gets rid of one unemployment, I guess. But it's not, you know, good enough to warrant using. So you, on the other hand, would, but you're out of range. Yeah. Because this one is connected to 2 other planets that are, at this point, successful. The water over here is just like a problem, but we can't solve it. Oh, no, it's not true. We can solve it like that. Oh, you would just need 1 more export. There we go. Let's say prosperous and successful. It is... I don't know. I think it is. There's a specific tech that could enable you to do it. There's a Aphorian tech that says if you have 6 imports into a planet, it becomes legendary. I would imagine that applies to Xenotourism worlds. So the answer is yes. But not this run, right? Because we don't have the specific tech that would be needed. We don't have any of the legendary text. I think this is the strongest move for the final action. We do not get this mission done. We didn't even get the 80 money, right? That first mission we got where we had to make an ocean world successful turned out super difficult because it turned out none of the ocean worlds were near any place they could make it successful. But in the end, we end up, you know, using Microforges to make all our goods and all our things, and we end up, you know, getting enough stuff to still get quite a good score, I would imagine. Not amazing, but I think it's still going to... Oh, actually it's a really low score. Wow. I would have expected more than this for, you know, all the things we built. I guess it's because of the lack of plants as well, right? Because plants are worth the base points. We build a lot of Microforges, but those aren't worth any points. Well, still GG, right? Microforge